this aromatic herb that lures you in, known most for sleeping issues and rebuilding nerve endings and digestion. This is a well-known herb, but I think of all the herbs that are well-known, this is the one we underestimate the most. There are a couple different types of chamomile. There's German chamomile and Roman chamomile. They are very similar, and the German is known to be slightly stronger with some of the research. The German chamomile, it's native to Europe and Northwest Asia. It's naturalized into North America and elsewhere. The Roman chamomile is native to England and Western Europe and also Northern Ireland. It grows in other places now, including North America. That's why it landed in the top 40 herbs of North America. You use the entire plant. The entire plant can be used and has medicinal properties because the history goes back. We know a lot about it. The early Egyptian physicians used it for fevers. The Greeks and Romans used it for headaches. The Anglo-Saxons considered it one of the 9 sacred herbs. Nicholas Culpeper, famous herbalist, he used it for weariness and for pain. Weariness. That's sometimes how we feel at the end of the day. Chamomile is a great herb for that. It's even mentioned in Peter Rabbit's story, where Peter Rabbit's mother gave him chamomile tea after he had a frightful adventure. Boy, I think sometimes we all need chamomile tea after our frightful adventures. It's been known to help with upset stomachs, settle down colicky babies, helping promote urination, and also to induce restful sleep. Known for pain symptoms and inflammation in the stomach and intestines, also settling down very active asthma and helping to nourish and settle down lung issues. The Native Americans, they used it for colic, they used it to strengthen the bowels and for vomiting. In 1921 in Germany, it was used topically for skin. They would make it into salves for cuts and sores and bruises. Chamomile has lots of vitamin A, calcium, iron, magnesium, manganese. It's got potassium, zinc, and a little bit of a bitter quality, and that's why it has that great astringent property for the digestive system. It can be a nerve stimulant for the body and a nerve relaxant, where it does both, where it stimulates to activate the nerves but relaxes them so that they're not tense, and it's like a quiet focus kind of thing, and it's not just a zonk you out like some of the other herbs that are just sleeping herbs or relaxing herbs, like for instance kava kava. I mean, that you really feel like, and wild lettuce. But this is more gentle. This is something that can be used in daytime or even where you can just really feel that settling down of the nerves. It can energize circulation through the body and strengthen and rejuvenate nerve endings. It can help relax the body and the muscles and even menstrual cramps, and also intestinal cramping and even leg cramps. And because it has that mild sedative effects, it definitely helps with inducing sleep, but also helps with restful sleep. And for some people, they say, oh, it doesn't work, I've tried chamomile, but you have to try it for a while. Our nerve endings take a while to rebuild and strengthen, and so it's a process. I've never seen anybody that would drink chamomile tea for a few months in a row that didn't believe that it worked incredibly for any type of nerve type of issues or even insomnia type symptoms. Also a great one for headaches because we tighten up our muscles here and it relaxes us and helps us to settle down. It can help with irritability, nervousness, and even hysteria. It can help tone and heal and improve the appetite in the digestive tract, just like every part of it. It's almost like when your digestive tract shuts down, you're not hungry anymore and just everything's kind of shutting down. It kind of opens things up, improves your appetite, increasing a little bit of blood flow and circulation in the digestive tract, helping with eliminate some gas issues and spasms, and helps move congestion through the bowels. Known for helping to eliminate parasites and worms. Also, we know that from many cultures that this herb is used for symptoms associated with fevers and colds and inducing perspiration in the body. It's been tested to being antibacterial. We know it's antiseptic, also antifungal. It has antiviral properties. That's why it's used for wounds. Definitely studies showing things like gangrene and infections, gingivitis. Oh my gosh, they've studied it for gingivitis in Europe a lot. It's known as an antitoxic type of herb, where it can help be successful for those that are longtime drug users or those that have used chemicals for a long period of time in their body and need to rebuild and strengthen and settle down the nerve endings. Because when you take chemicals into the body that help the body eat away and use up all the nerve endings, you need to rebuild that and strengthen that, and that takes some time. But chamomile tea is that, you know, great steady thing that's there for you, and we can rebuild it day after day, the nerve endings, and you start to feel a big difference with it. Chamomile is often made into a salve or an oil for skin irritation or pain or itching. It can be used just as a tea topically, but they've studied it for eczema and other even some radiation treatments, and showing it to be very effective. It has that natural anti-inflammatory property to it, and so they've seen success, and it's been known for inflammation of the mouth and the throat and even the upper respiratory tract. And any type of swelling, bruises, sprains, anything like that, this is a great astringent herb to be able to pull that together. It's put in diaper rash ointment, commercially sold in some places. It can be used internally for diarrhea and earaches, for convulsions. It's been used for teething. You can make a really strong tea of it and put it on their mouth for helping to calm nerves, stomach, colicky symptoms. We kind of talked about that. Bedwetting, that is one, it works really, really well. I have never seen this not work. I've had moms come to me and say, okay, we have this problem with bedwetting, and I say chamomile tea. They think, how can I give them chamomile tea right before bed, because they're restricting these poor kids' water before they go, clear up before they go to bed. Here's what happens in the body. This is just from a mom of 9, but this is what happens. They're upset about the bedwetting, and they don't want the bedwetting to happen either. So for whatever reason, they get really tense, and they got to empty their bladder, and then they go to bed, and then when they finally go to sleep and they relax, everything relaxes, and the bladder relaxes. Then they wet the bed. So relax them with chamomile tea before they go to bed. It helps them empty the bladder and helps them stay relaxed enough to feel that sensation. See, the chamomile feeds the nerves, and you're doing it in a liquid, which is going to go right through the bladder, right? So you're feeding those nerves so they're more sensitive, and so instead of sleeping as deeply, they get a more restful sleep where they'll be able to wake up if they have to go to the bathroom rather than having that problem. It also works really well for nightmares and things like that, and has been passed down for generations for that. It is a great female herb. It can help with menstrual flow and getting things going, and it can help with cramps. It is used for childbirth, before, during, after, even after birth pains. When I was training to be a midwife, I just remember going into these sweet little Latino homes, and every single one of them had manzanilla, which is a tea that is chamomile tea. And I didn't really realize that connection because I was in the middle of training to be an herbalist at the same time. And I just thought, wow, they really use this effectively. They use it and drink it almost immediately to tighten up the uterus and get things astringently going, to calm down the mom, calm down everything. And they just have the most beautiful births and bring this really beautiful yellowy tea and enjoy that part of the baby with the chamomile tea. I mean, it's just such a beautiful environment, and that's when I really fell in love with chamomile, was when I saw it in the birthing environment, because they definitely use it effectively there. It's used also as a hair rinse to help the hair have more luster and to add golden highlights to the hair, and also used to help symptoms with like dandruff and things like that. It's on the FDA's GRAS list, which is generally rated as safe. It's listed for beneficial during pregnancy and listed to relax the body and help with sound sleep, with bowel problems, and it's even talked about it having rare allergic reactions. I mean, there are a few allergic reactions of people who are sensitive to ragweed or chrysanthemums. What we usually do if people want to use this great herb, if they are allergic, they just can start to use a little at a time, just a leaf at a time, and introduce that until they get used to it. Their body helps them overcome this allergy that sometimes plagues a lot of people. This herb is sometimes confused with another plant that is dried but not used for medicinal purposes, and it's bad tasting. It's either white or colored yellow. It's usually in potpourris and things like that. You don't want brown or dingy flowers. You want yellow, fresh flowers that have a fruity smell, that are just just so welcoming and delicious. So how do you use chamomile in your life? You can use the bulk dried flowers, and you can keep them. They look so beautiful and they smell so delicious, and you can make teas, and you can make capsules out of them, and you can make poultices, and you can make a hair rinse. You can use it for an enema, for an eye wash. You can use the powdered flowers. You can use them whole. You can use them as a poultice. Usually I use the powder for poultices and grind up all the flour, and so you get a lot of surface area. You can use it in any different way that you want to use it. The dried flowers retain a lot of the beautiful essential oil that helps lift the spirits and make one cheery again. And that's one of the things that chamomile essential oil in itself is known for, that high vibration of bringing that happiness and joy back into your body. I hope that you experience chamomile in every different ways. I have tried to grow it a couple of times and I've killed it both times. So I get it from wonderful people who grow it for me, and I hope that you can experience this plant and hopefully bring it into your life. It's supposed to be super easy to grow, and so as an urban herbalist, I just appreciate those of you that can grow it, and appreciate those that share this plant with us. I hope that you explore it and find lots of great ways to use this plant in your life.